name is Vanessa with student number B1024201004. I'm a student from Management in International Class Department from Universitas Tanjung. So today in this video, I would like to explain about the chapter 10th of the book, namely Performance Management and Appraisal. So performance management is activity with purpose to make sure that employee performance is the needed by the company. The appraisal itself means process in assessing how well employee performance, which included process of identifying and measuring the performance and tell them about it. First of all, I would like to explain about the two videos. Both of the video speaker is Greg Learning. The first video talk about performance management and the second video is talking about performance appraisal. The first video, performance management, include two activities, evaluating performance and help worker in developing action plan to improve performance. Effective management will have good outcome, and to achieve that we need some tools that directly tie to employees' descriptions. Performance management has positive and constructive feedback, which both is actually important to be presented in meeting. Besides that, a strong documentation is crucial for performance management and managing employee relation issue, since most HR team still make mistake in documentation. Therefore, in this video, the speaker gives some guidelines for people that work in HR team so they can make a greater documentation. The second video, it is about development is creating performance appraisal that align with organizational culture and tools. In making development, we need to find inspiration, and the tools created must be easy to be understood by employee. There are fixed standards, recommended tools, namely demographics, rating scale, assessment, self-evaluation, SMART goals, and development. After development, there is management that manage performance appraisal by maintaining high standards feedback and strong documentation. In the second video, speaker give model of good feedback, namely earned. Earned is event, action, result, and next steps. After I watched the first video, I learned there are 6 standards element tools. They are demographics, rating scale, assessment, self-evaluation, SMART goals, and development. And I also learned about how good the employee's performance is dependent on the effectiveness of management, and whether the feedback is positive or negative, both is needed to be stated accept by the manager. So here, the manager has to be honest about the result of the performance that they have already planned and already implemented. So after I watched the second video, I learned that performance appraisal is divided into development and management with different purpose. I get better understanding about development, which requires inspiration, ideas, and good communication skill so that employee can understand well. And for the management itself, the point is that being my highlight is I gain new knowledge about the bad fact of feedback from manager towards their employee and the good model of feedback by speaker. Okay, next is about the HR headline on page 319, which I have already read. I learned that the existence of HR professional itself is very crucial and it's actually needed. Unfortunately, based on a study on which written on the HR headline, many organizations don't focus enough on ethics when managing the performance in their organization. Like only around 43% of HR practitioners indicated that their employers included measures of ethics on performance evaluation. Meanwhile, we know that and we realize HR professionals actually should be involved in the development of organization standard, because that is one of the obligation of being HR team, right? So actually they need to create comprehensive programs that will raise the motivation of the employee and take appropriate action if there is something happen in that company. Next, if we want to build an effective performance management system, there are several things that I suggest you to do. The first one is make clear what organizational experts. The second one is provide performance information to employees. The third one is identify areas of success and needed development. And the fourth one is document performance for personal records. Next is about the component of performance management. The components of performance management begins with development and understanding of organizational strategy, then devolves into a series of steps that involve identifying performance expectations, providing performance direction. The third one is we are encouraging employee participation. The fourth one is we are assessing job performance, and the fifth one is we are conducting performance appraisal. So a successful performance management is a circular process that requires a system of administrative tools that effectively structures the dialogue between managers and their employees, and the motivation to utilize and to maximize the system in a productive way. Do you guys know there are several components of performance-focused culture? The first one is clear expectations, goals, and deadlines. The second one is detailed appraisal of employee performance. The third one is clear feedback of performance. The fourth one is manager and performance training as needed. And the fifth one is consequences for performance. You may be wondering about how can we identify and measure employee performance. So we can identify and measuring the employee performance by checking the performance criteria that actually vary from job to job. But here are common performance measures. The first one is quantity out of the output. The second one is quality of the output. The third one is timeliness out of output. The fourth one is presence or attendance of the job. The fifth one is efficiency of work completed. And the seventh one is effectiveness of work completed. We have types of performance information. So I will mention there are three types of performance information. The first one is threat-based information. It identifies a character trait of employees, such as their attitude, their initiative or creativity while working, or etc. of their action that we can see it may or may not related to their job. And the second one is behavior-based information. It focuses on specific behaviors that lead to job success. Behavior information clearly specifies the behaviors that management want to see. And the third one is result-based information, which consider employee accomplishment. However, in this approach, actually, it measure tends to be emphasized, which may leave out equally important but difficult to measure part of work. Okay, we move to the HR perspective on page 326. From the HR perspective, with titled behaviors or results, and why not both, I learned that even though results are really significant, it doesn't mean that the less importance for a business to focus on the action they are taken and employee behaviors that make sure the sustainability from a long-range perspective. Companies should consider to develop a performance management process that takes into a consideration the many different employee behaviors who actually drive to reach high levels of organization performance. Next, I will explain about performance appraisal. Do you know that performance appraisal is a process of assessing how well employees' performance, which included a process of identifying and measuring the performance and also tell them about their own performance. The purpose of performance appraisal is actually provide a measure of performance for consideration in making pay or other administrative decisions about employees. Besides that, it also helps manager to act more as a counselor and coach than as a judge, and a perspective that can change the overall tone of the appraisal process. Next, I'm gonna talk about the HR Online on page 331, namely using technology to enhance performance appraisal. And from the HR Online, I learned that technology can boost up performance appraisal. A performance appraisal that uses technology system to automate process can provide many advantages to organizations. That is why the HR professionals should consider the involvement of electronic methods to facilitate the manner in which appraisal procedures are administered and managed. Those organizations who already automated their performance system confirm the ease of use, saving time, and improvement in ability of tracking performance. So others should find paths to maximize the utilization of technology in order to pull out performance management. I have already talked a lot about the performance appraisal, but I haven't talked about actually who conducts the performance appraisal. Actually, performance appraisal can be conducted by anyone familiar with performance of individual employees. There are several possible rating situations, namely supervisory rating of subordinates, employee rating of managers, team or peer rating, self-rating, outsider rating, and multi-source or 360-degree of feedback. Last is the performance management process. So, performance management process starts by identifying the strategic goal an organization needs to accomplish to remain competitive and profitable. After all of these ideas are crystallized, managers identify how they and their employees can support organizational objective by successfully completing work. So, in some of the work completed in all jobs should be advanced to the strategic plan. By adopting a big picture of quantitative approach, managers can successfully combine individual efforts in a manner that provides practical measures of organization effectiveness. After I learned about this chapter, I do know the difference between performance management and performance appraisal. Then I also have new lore about identifying and measuring performance of employee, what tools can be used for the performance appraisal, which conducted by some cool methods with their own advantages and disadvantages. And last but not least, I do learned about the importance of feedback after all of the effort that HR team has done. So that's all of my video. Thank you very much for watching and God bless you.